Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to talk about a really powerful shift in how we approach marketing. It's all about moving away from that constant, draining hustle and towards something that feels more helpful, more sustainable, and honestly, a lot more fun. Let's dive in.
So let me just start by asking you this. Does your marketing ever feel like a performance? Like you're always on stage, chasing the latest algorithm, putting on a show, and just trying to be the loudest voice in the room? If you're sitting there nodding your head, trust me, you are so not alone.
So here's our game plan. We're going to start by talking about that feeling of marketing burnout that so many of us have. Then we'll get into the solution, a value-first philosophy. We'll break down 5 specific ways you can provide value, look at how to do this with video, and finally, see how it all comes together to build a thriving, sustainable ecosystem.
Okay, so first things first, let's put a name to the problem, the great marketing burnout. The real issue here is that in our super crowded digital world, marketing has kind of stopped feeling like making a connection. Instead, it feels like this constant, high-pressure battle for attention. It's all about pressure, sometimes even manipulation, and this never-ending race to figure out the algorithm. And it just leaves people feeling totally wiped out.
But what if there's a better way? This is where we pivot to a totally different mindset, the value-first philosophy.
It all boils down to the question you ask yourself every morning. The old sales-first way of thinking is all about, how do I get people to buy my thing? It's about taking. But the value-first mindset flips that script completely. It asks, how can I genuinely help someone today? That one little change in perspective, it changes everything.
So at its core, value-first marketing is all about building relationships by helping people first. The main goal isn't that immediate sale. Nope. The real currency you're building, the real prize, is trust. When you help people first, you build this incredible foundation of trust that makes them want to stick around.
And I really need to hammer this point home. This is not just another marketing trick. It's not a hack to game the system. It's a philosophy. It's a deep-down commitment to showing up with generosity, acting with integrity, and building real, actual human connections.
Okay, so that all sounds great, right? But what does providing value actually look like when you sit down to create something? Let's break it down into 5 key forms.
Value can show up in so many ways. First, you've got education. Think really useful how-to guides. Second is storytelling, sharing real case studies that inspire people. Third, and this is huge, is building a community, creating a space where people can connect. Fourth is curation. You save your audience a ton of time by sharing the best stuff. And finally, perspective, sharing your unique point of view on the world that nobody else has.
Now, probably the most powerful way to deliver all this amazing value is through video. So let's get practical and talk about how to actually make a video that helps people.
I mean, the numbers don't lie. A whopping 74% of customers say that watching a video was a key part of their decision-making process. Think about that. When you make a video that really explains something well, you are literally helping someone move forward with confidence. That's pure value right there.
And you know what the best part is? You don't need a Hollywood film crew. Get this. Over 90% of people actually prefer videos that feel authentic. That means a simple video of you just talking to the camera can build way more trust than some slick, overproduced commercial. It's about the connection, not how perfect it looks.
Okay, but here's the catch. To deliver all that value, you first have to earn their attention. And you have to do it, immediately. Those first 2 to 3 seconds of your video, they are absolutely everything. That's your tiny window to give someone a really good reason to stop scrolling. And that's where a great hook comes in.
So how do you create a great hook that isn't just clickbait? Well, one way is to subvert expectations. Challenge something everyone thinks is true. Or you can just provide a solution right up front. No fluff, just here's the fix. And another killer hook is to ask a really good question. One that gets at a problem your viewer feels but maybe can't even put into words.
When it comes to scripting your video, there's a super simple framework that works like a charm. Problem, agitate, solution. First, you name the problem your viewer is struggling with. Then, you agitate it. Now that sounds intense, but it's not about being manipulative. It's about showing empathy, showing you get how frustrating it is. And finally, you deliver the solution, leading them from that pain point to a point of clarity and relief.
So when you start doing this consistently, you're not just making content anymore. You're actually building something much, much bigger. A sustainable ecosystem that starts to work for you.
I love thinking about it this way. Every helpful video, every insightful post, every single piece of value you put out there, it's like planting a seed. And that seed grows into trust. It's not a one-and-done transaction.
You're basically cultivating a garden that nourishes both your audience and your work over the long haul. And the long-term benefits of this are just incredible. We're talking higher engagement, way more referrals, and a real community of people who share your stuff for you. You become less of a slave to the algorithms, and maybe best of all, you actually start to find more joy in the work you're creating.
So I guess I'll just leave you with this to think about. What would change for you, what would change for your work, if your marketing wasn't about what you could get from people, but was built entirely on a foundation of trust? What would you create then?